Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Well, it has been a eventful week in Cleveland Browns. Hard to believe the draft was just last weekend. It really feels longer since then. So we're now getting draft grades, which I don't do. People actually play before I decide if it's a good pick. But Browns are getting their props. For it's confusing for some in the media who don't understand what's going on in Cleveland to sit there and say, well, why did they take two quarterbacks? Well, have you not been paying attention? For the last 25 years, they've been trying to find one. So let's take two young men who have a lot of college experience. I think Dylan Gabriel only missed one game. I don't think Sanders missed any game. So the Browns took two rookie quarterbacks. Well, it's going to be a quarterback competition. And of the 32 teams, this is the only team that's going to have an authentic quarterback competition. And for a team who's desired to find that golden arm since Bernie Kosar and Baker Mayfield, yes, fine. I'm fine with it. I wasn't a big fan of Sanders at 2 and 33 and 36 and so forth. In the 5th round, great value. Excellent value. Let's bring the kid in and see what he does. So I don't know why we have to draw battle lines over who was taken first, Gabriel or Sanders, who is going to be the better quarterback. I mean, come on. It'll play out. You don't have to argue over something that if either one of these kids turns out to be a franchise quarterback, last time I checked, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. And if they don't, you got 2 number 1 draft picks next year. We'll get into the Jaguars and their schedule later. But so after that, the next big hubbub was Ken Carman saying that there's an interest in Nick Chubb from an NFC team. And of course, everybody assumed it was the Bears. Why, I don't know. I can tell you that is agent generated, especially after the draft, especially after the Cleveland Browns selected 2 dynamic rookie quarterbacks, rookie wide running backs. I mean, they're different type players. I mean, Quinshawn can carry the load, and Sanders gives you that burst. I mean, he is a fast player. So you got like a thunder and lightning thing going on here with the Browns, kind of like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. But everybody is taking this way too personal. Yes, I love Nick Chubb. I'm glad they drafted him. It was between him and Sonny Michel back when they both came out at Georgia, and everybody thought Michel was the better running back. I like Chubb. And I'm glad Dorsey picked him in the 2nd round. He's proved to be right. And that was the only, that's the Dorsey pick everybody hangs their hat on. So what's going to happen with Nick Chubb? I don't know. He's never going to be the same Nick Chubb. I'm sorry. You could see it last year. The eyes were there. The field vision was there. The wanting to cut was there. He just lacked the burst and the running ability. And last time I checked, those 2 things are important for a running back. Now, could he come in and still sign? He could. They talk to his representatives once a week. But don't get all bent out of shape if he does sign with somebody else. I mean, that's the nature of the business. And this is a business. I mean, you move on, a clean slate, young rookie running backs they'll be paying these guys for 3 or 4 years, and they won't be spending a lot of money, and these guys will be highly productive. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. If he does sign, great. If he doesn't sign, also great. Which leads us into the Jerome Ford news, which dropped, I believe, on Friday, that he negotiated a new deal. Now, everybody, of course, Mary Kay, was fully convinced Nick Chubb's not coming back. Oh, Jerome Ford made it more affordable, so Nick Chubb's not coming back. Jerome Ford is smart. He's either going to make this roster or get traded to another team where he's going to make the roster. 1.75 for an experienced running back is dirt cheap. So he wasn't worth the $3.4 million he was about to make. He knew it. And to improve his football career, he took less money. Now, the Browns can either do one of two things. He can either make the roster or he can be traded. It's that simple. And if he's traded, fine. If these two rookies come in and show that they can take over for Jerome Ford, fine. That's great. That's what you want. And that gives more inclination that they'll re-sign Nick Chubb. But Nick Chubb on this current quarterback room would be running back number 4 at best. Could they keep Jerome Ford and sign Nick Chubb and have 4 running backs? Possibly. I remember times when they had 3 running backs and a fullback. I remember a time, God, I can't think of the little running back out of UCLA. They carried 5 wide receivers and listed him as a running back wide receiver and kept 3 running backs. There's one thing I can pretty much guarantee on the Browns' final 53. There are going to be 10 offensive linemen. There's always 10 offensive linemen, 2 centers, 4 guards, 4 tackles, always. So when you start doing your calculation for the final 53, just remember you're starting after you put 10 offensive linemen. So Jerome Ford, he'll either be back or he won't be back. So he's not going to get cut. He's either going to get traded, which is great, because then you can pick up some draft capital for 26, or he's going to make the team. And if he's strong enough to make the team and make the team better, what the hell's wrong with that? But just remember, they can keep 4 running backs if they want to. They could just get rid of 1 tight end or get rid of 1 wide receiver. Let's take a quick break. All right. Now, I've seen a lot of way too early mock drafts 2026. And I see a lot of quarterbacks with the Browns' first-round pick, which they all think is going to be top 5. It's way too early for that. It really is. Last year at this point, the 2 guys who were number 1 college quarterbacks going into the season, everybody thought was going to go in the first round, or your first 2 quarterbacks, were Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck. Those were your top 2 guys last year at this time. That's who everybody thought. And last time I checked, Carson Beck's going the route of Cam Ward, going to go down to Miami to resurrect his draft status and to be with his girlfriend. And Quinn Ewers went in the 6th round. So these early mock drafts are a load of crap. Just remember, last year at this time, Cam Ward hadn't played a down for Miami, and he was considered at best a 5th round draft pick. Sanders, last year at this time, Sanders was kind of like, who knows? So Will Howard everybody was wondering in Ohio State, or Ohio State fans were wondering who was going to take over for him. So this is way too early for drafts. Okay. Mock drafts at this point are useless. They're kind of like a preseason college poll, useless until October. So I'm not paying any attention to way too early mock drafts. They mean nothing to me. But let me just say, if you're interested in that kind of thing, the 2026 draft picks for the Cleveland Browns, they have 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, and 2 in the seventh. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 draft picks for next year. So they could potentially still make a trade for a wide receiver. They have the ammunition. Time for an Andrew Berry special, where you send a couple picks over and they send a player and a pick. There are a few teams you might want to watch. The Colts with Alex Pierce, Denver with Cortland Sutherland, Green Bay. That's everybody's favorite because they went heavy. Christian Watson is someone to watch with them. I know a lot of people like Tyreek Hill, but they can't do that with their salary cap right now. It's just impossible. New England has like 3 guys that nobody's ever heard of, but give them a shot with the. You're looking for a number 2. That's all they're looking for is a number 2 wide receiver. The Browns already have their number 1. Tillman right now is at best of 3, and we don't know about the other guys. David Bell and Jamari Thrash. They're a mystery. So it wouldn't hurt them to maybe trade, maybe Washington, Noah Brown. But Alex Pierce with Indianapolis is very interesting, and so is Cortland Sutherland with Denver. So hopefully, and safety. I don't know if there's any tradable safeties out there. I just recently wrote an article covering these 2 positions for the Cleveland Browns, wide receiver and safety. I gave like 3 targets for each position. You can find it on Fans First Sports Network. Give it a read. Tell me what you think. Keenan Allen comes to mind on one, and Isaiah Simmons, and so there are possibilities for them to still sign free agents. So what happens next? The national media descends on Berea, Ohio on May 9th, because that's when the rookies show up. And that's when Shedeur Sanders is going to show up, and it's going to be crazy. I've often said that one of the few redeeming values of social media is the videos of players showing up at the campus there. I love it. I enjoy it. I don't know why. It makes me think, oh, we're not that far away from football. We're not that far away from Cleveland Browns football. So I always look forward to it. So that's it for this week. By the way, the stadium is going to get built. Forget about all this politic crap. That dome is going to be built in Brook Park. There's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. It's going to happen. So let's, the politicians in Cleveland can, cut off their nose to spite their face all they want to. It's going to happen one way or another. So that's it for today. Like I said, it's been a little busy week. Things really get geared up this week with the rookies showing up next Friday. And the national sports media and possibly some other media. Who knows? You might turn on the national nightly news program, and there's a picture of Shedeur Sanders walking into the facility of Berea. All this because he's a 5th-round draft pick. Captivating story, captured the country. Deion's kid lasts till the 5th round. Why not? All right, everybody, have a great day. This has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. As I always say, thank you for watching, listening, following, and subscribing. We're just Browns fans like you. We love this team, and all we want to do is have them win, right? That's all I want. So everybody have a great day, and go Browns.